Today we're going to be checking out the night Osama Bin Laden was killed, May the 1st, 2011. This is going to be interesting to see what we got in this video. Not too sure what to expect, so let's jump straight into it and see what we got.
We had a division rivalry between the Mets and the Phillies. The ballpark was full. It was a really lively atmosphere, but, you know, at the time I just thought I was sitting down to do a regular baseball game.
Right.
We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something special happened. And I don't know how to describe that when you don't know what's going on, but you know it's special.
The afternoon was spent on pins and needles. I wasn't watching sports that night.
You know what? I actually remember briefly. It was a while ago now. But the night that Osama Bin Laden died and like it was all in the news and stuff, I was like, what? Like took back because like, wasn't it like a team? Didn't they release like a documentary of a team that broke in? And like, I can't really remember much now. I would love to rewatch it. But yeah, it was mad even for me. So yeah, for like America's perspective right now, what we're going to check out, I can't imagine how these are going to react.
Another packed house here at Citizens Bank Park and an awfully nice night for a ball game here in Philadelphia. The New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, Sunday night baseball. You know, it's always a rivalry when a New York team and a Philadelphia team get together.
I think for the most part we respected one another, but I think certainly we didn't like each other.
Right.
I was wearing red and white pinstripes. I couldn't stand orange, black, and blue. I just couldn't.
The Mets-Phillies rivalry, it's based on proximity. There's a little bit of a big brother, little brother issue going on, I think.
It's always extra special, obviously. That rivalry was always electric atmosphere.
Even in our production meeting prior to, I remember someone making the point that this is the only show in town. And by that, I mean really the only major sporting event going on across the country. And that's not often the case. Right,
this was the big game. At the time, this was the biggest game happening.
No 2 count on the lead.
I've never really seen baseball.
Paulino Lee strikes out, 1 down.
Wait, at the same moment, the White House announced the presidential news conference.
Watching the game, we have monitors here, watching Twitter on the laptop, and the White House reporters that I follow. They started talking back and forth about the president has called a news conference.
Our news editor, Claire Smith, passed a note along at some point to me, POTUS news conference tonight. To me,
what, when POTUS does like a news conference, is that like a big thing? Well, probably late at this time, right? It was like 9-something p.m.
Honestly, you know, I'm locked in on what's going on in the field. I'm not even factoring in what this could mean.
Right. Of course.
And Young strikes him out as the Phillies leave the bases loaded here in the 7th inning.
7:48.
It was
still
a
winning
one-run ball game. The tying run was on base, and Ryan Howard's coming up. But all of a sudden, you become aware of something else.
I looked down at my phone and I got a text from a buddy who always watched games, and he said, they got Bin Laden.
Bobby nudged me with his elbow and showed me his phone. You know, this isn't in the play-by-play handbook. They don't tell you how to deal with this one.
Oh, wait, yeah, because they're the commentators. What do you even say at that? Because that's big news.
There were rumors that Osama Bin Laden had been, you know, the United States had got him and that they'd killed him.
Tom Archer, our producer, right away said, we're trying to corroborate it. Don't say anything yet. We're preparing a statement.
Right.
So you try to put it out of your mind for a second, and you keep calling.
I've actually got goosebumps on the back of my neck. What the hell? What's going on?
Calling the game.
They've only got 2.
You try to put it out of your mind for a second, and you keep calling the game.
They've only got 2 hits in this game. They've got 3 hits in this game. Mayberry getting the wave. The throw from Bay, not in time, and the Phillies have tied it.
When we understood what was happening and that this was less a rumor and more fact, we said we're going to bring the announcers on camera at the end of the 8th inning.
Ground ball to second, inning over. Some breaking news for those of you who have been with us on the ball game. ABC News is reporting that Osama Bin Laden has been killed, and a presidential news conference is upcoming momentarily.
I think thereafter, we had our eyes open for when that bit of news was going to find its way into the 40,000 plus people who were at Citizens Bank Park.
I'm intrigued. I am intrigued.
At the very beginning of the 9th inning, my now wife, fiance at the time, just happened to be on her phone, I guess. It wasn't the most entertaining game for her.
On CNN, an article popped up about, it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like Bin Laden has been killed.
Wow.
And then, you know, I turned to my fiance and said, hey, look at this is something.
My friend next to me, she suddenly lets out a, oh my God, we killed Bin Laden. After that, it just, everything changed.
Wait, are they chatting USA? Oh, that's sick. Because, like, oh, I see why they was going into detail that this game was like a big rivalry, because the whole, I'm guessing the whole stadium is going to be chanting USA. Oh, yeah, watching this as Americans is going to be so cool.
Got a chant of USA as the news goes through the crowd.
The players are thinking, what's going on?
There were two events going on at once. One was a baseball game, and one is a hugely significant world event, which people, one by one, are finding out about around the ballpark.
Once the word started to leak out, we were told to find people sharing cell phone information with people beside them, find people that were excited, jumping up and down. That night, it was pretty easy to find good shots.
That's when I decided to pull out my phone. It just kind of struck me as this is like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of moment.
I've got goosebumps everywhere.
There's no place in the world right now where there are more Americans gathered than in that ballpark. And they were all experiencing this rush of emotion simultaneously and spontaneously. The players, of course, had no idea what was going on.
Man, this is crazy. And like being in a stadium with that many people, like obviously Bin Laden affected the whole world, but America more so. So like that news and then them chanting USA, like they did it. They've, you know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, mad, mental, really, really, really cool. And it'll be, for you Americans watching this, will be something, man.
Very rarely do you hear USA chants break out, you know, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a bit of a state of confusion. Then you get locked in.
Yeah, they're in the dark. Yeah, for the players, it'd be weird. Because they're used to like playing, right? They will never really hear just like everyone screaming USA. So they're probably thinking, what's going on?
For your bat. Kind of just a bit of a state of confusion. Then you get locked in for your bat.
And I'm thinking, what national team's playing and who they playing and who they beat?
Right.
There's a soccer game going on. I thought maybe there was a hockey game going on. I was confused, and it kind of took me off of what I was doing.
Just missed outside of the knees.
Yeah, it would make them trip.
For the Mets here in the 9th inning at a 1-1 tie. Wright is running and steals it. Let's go down to field level with Wendy Nix. Wendy?
Well, Dan, you're exactly right. As word begins to filter through the ballpark about Osama Bin Laden, the players, at least in the Phillies dugout, are clearly unaware. They don't have the same devices that we have. I was directly adjacent to the Phillies dugout. They're looking at me, like, you know, and they're looking at each other, and they're looking at their manager. And the obvious question, do you know what's going on?
Is he going to tell them?
The USA chant again.
This is so cool.
We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something special happened. And You're in an out, but you're an in. You're a part of it, but part of what?
Wow.
Jason Bay is going to be the batter.
I got no idea what's going on, and I'm Canadian, and I'm thinking, I've been called a lot of things, especially in Philly, but you know, the USA thing, they're trying to get under my skin.
2 on, 2 out. Bay the batter, tied at 1 in the 9th inning. In the air to center field. Inning over.
Everybody's coming into the dugout, and we're all kind of looking at each other, and you know, obviously the chants are still going, and we're sitting there going, okay, what's happened here? And the trainer kind of breaks the news to all of us.
That's kind of how it spreads, is by that word of mouth. Obviously, you know, no question, the baseball game becomes secondary to, you know, the news and the president, you know, addressing the country, you know, a few minutes after that.
The White House has just announced that the president will address the nation about 1 minute from now.
Obama. Man, I love Obama. I'm not even American. I think the whole world loves Obama, man.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama Bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. What we remembered right away was the chants that we started hearing outside the White House. And
I felt like clapping now, and it's like, what, 14 years later, and I'm on the other side of the world. That's how, like, big this news is. So being American at the moment in time, wow. How old was I in 2011? I would have been, I was like 16.
you know, my working assumption is that if people had gathered that quickly outside of the White House, chanting USA, USA, that across the country, the same thing was taking place.
Beautiful. What a night.
The Mets a strike away from victory.
Unlucky fellas.
Got him. The breaking ball to get him Mayberry, and finally the New York Mets hang on to beat.
You know what? For Philly, you couldn't have lost on a better night. I can't lie. Because of how big that news was, you would just like, boom. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. I'm not really a baseball fan. You tell me. But I would think, but you know what I mean? I'd forget it. I'd literally forget the loss in like 10 minutes.
The Phillies 2-1 tonight.
Here we are, a team from New York, a team from Philadelphia, rivals, playing one another, trying to knock each other's teeth out, but the game isn't that significant anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird, just being able to high five and hug Phillies fans and have that common ground. Fans you're supposed to be enemies with, all of a sudden it became a moment of celebration, a moment of pride.
It just shows, like, you can be against each other, right? But when it actually matters, we're all the same. Everyone would just unite, be one. Do you know what I mean? Just, yeah, that's beautiful, man.
One night, you know, it wasn't Philadelphia, New York. It was the United States of America coming together. That's something special.
Really cool. May the 1st, 2011. Wow, what an amazing video. That was actually so good. Yeah, really, really, really good video. I had goosebumps the whole entire way through that. If you guys was in America especially, or anywhere in the world, let me know what you guys, if you can remember what you felt on the night where you was, if you can remember that. I was a little bit younger, so I was probably at school or something. I can briefly remember, like, when I seen it, I was like, oh, wait, what? Because I was young, I immediately thought, wait, how did they do it? And I was, like, searching up how they did it and stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to head over there, chat to me live, get me to react to things live, you can do. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.